Well, done some classroom shopping, and I thought I would share with you what I bought for my classroom this year. If you're new around here, my name is Rachel Vincent. I'm a 4th grade teacher in South Carolina, and I am going into my 22nd year of teaching. Quick note, if the sound is off, it's because my apartment ceilings are very tall and there's no carpet, so the sound doesn't do well. In my latest videos, have been using like a lapel mic, but it's wired, and I'm not in my office filming today. I'm in my bedroom because this stuff takes up a lot of space. So I have a wireless mic on order, but it hasn't come in yet. So hopefully the sound quality isn't terrible, but we'll just have to go with it because I need to get this built for you guys so I can start taking it into my classroom, because classroom setup is coming in a week. I also want to start by saying that because I teach in South Carolina, we do get state monies. The state sends us money every single year. For as long as I've been teaching, they've done that. It has gone up well, not every year, but it has definitely increased since I first started teaching. We now get $400 every year to spend in our classrooms, which I am so thankful for. But with that comes some sort of stipulations. I know it's different across the state because not every district requires this, but my district requires me to turn in receipts. And my receipts have to be what's called clean receipts, which means it can only have things purchased on it that I have used my state funds for. I also had a student teacher this past spring, and the university gifted me Amazon gift cards for quite a bit. So that's where a lot of this has come from. I do budget a little bit of money every year for my classroom personally for the things that like I can't or don't want to use state funds for. I am very blessed and I know that. So I'll do my best to try and let you know like what I use state funds for and what I purchased with gift cards. But I'll just go ahead and say right now, the majority of my state funds goes to what I call consumables, things that get used up. I try not to buy things that I personally want or things that will last for a long time, because I don't know like the fine print of everything, but I do think that like there's certain things you can buy and not buy with the state money. And it, I guess, essentially belongs to the state, so I don't want it to be something that if I was to leave the state would have to leave behind. We'll start Walmart because the bags are there and they make a lot of noise. So I stocked up on some supply boxes. My students have these on their supply list. I've been blessed to have extra for quite a bit, but I'm officially out, so I bought a few extra in case a student doesn't bring one or they break, which happens. I think that's where a lot of mine have gone to. Students have broken them over the years, so I just stocked up on a few. I also got some envelopes. I always need like 1 or 2 of these a year. And it's kind of random, but I don't ever have any, so I have to like beg, borrow. This was an impulse buy, but again, state money. And I bought myself some markers, so I didn't buy any last year. These I like to use for grading, and they came in a 20 pack for relatively cheap. I did not find these in, you know how Walmart has their like office supply section and then they do all their seasonal stuff up front? I did not see these in the seasonal back to school. This was in the office supply section. It's actually where I found all of my things except for the pencil boxes because my Walmart wasn't fully stocked, which is what this is. I bought 12 composition notebooks. Again, these are also asked for on our list, but I like to have extra, and I'm out, so I had to, well, I actually restock every year because, and we ask for 3. There's students that don't bring any, so I just want to have some available, and they're only 50 cents, and again, I have that state money. Sometimes students only bring like 1 or 2, and so I like to have one available. I want to be able to, when we're ready to set notebooks up, I'm not waiting on supplies to come in. We're just good to go. All right, I'm just gonna go box by box. Pencil pouches, the mesh kind. Again, this was also state money. I have some in my classroom. This is a set of, I think 24. When I started purchasing all these things, we weren't sure how many students we were gonna have. There was only like 22 on my list at the end of the year, but that was with 5 classes and we were only having 4 teachers and 4 classes, but we just found out a couple days ago we do get our 5th teacher, so my class sizes won't be 28 like they were going to be. So this should be good, and then my extras are for when they break, because students use these daily. They keep their pencils and glue stick. It was dry erase eraser, but I'm thinking of changing how I do that up. But anyway, I consider these consumable. Okay, because this is Amazon, there's just gonna be a mixture of everything. So this is not consumable. I bought this for myself, a little tiny backpack. So we have security bags that we are required to take with us to lunch, to related arts, to recess every single day. That's one of my jobs, the security guard. They grab our bag. But it's essentially for fire drills. We are required to keep a little like red, yellow, green flip book in there to show that we have all our students during the fire drill plus a class list. Our school does provide one for us, but they are the cheapest book bags ever. And every year that we have had to do this, I've had to get a new one. I am going to try this. I got a small one because again, it only has to fit the little cards in there. And then I can fold up the class list to stick in there. Plus I wanted it to be able to spot it among everybody else's. I originally was looking at toddler size book bags because one of my students brought a little mini book bag on the field trip and it was like the perfect size, which made me think of this. So, but I I searched on Amazon mini backpack and that's where this came from. I've already opened this, but this next thing I'm really hoping works. I have seen where people use these for headphones and I got headphones last year. At the beginning of the year, they were in a basket, which worked fine, but I wanted something to organize it a little better, but I knew like the shoe holders were not big enough. So this, I don't remember what this calls. I'm going to link everything down below. So if you want to check it out, but this has bigger pockets. They're mesh that will fit headphones. So I'm hoping this works. The only issue, I think it will work. The only issue is it's really long. So whatever headphones are at the top are going to be hard for students to reach on their own. And I'm not really sure where I'm going to hang it in my classroom. It does come with like the over the door hooks. I don't really have a spot, but I was just going to use command hooks on the grommets. But again, I'm like, what wall space do I have where I could use all of this? I don't know. I will figure it out in my setup videos. So you'll get to see me ponder and figure that out. Oh, I just bought some magnets. This was the impulse buy. I don't think I really needed magnets, but well, I do need a few. I probably didn't need this many, but they're just, they look like little push pins. I don't know if you could see that for my whiteboards. I actually think I was always running out, so I just needed a few more. Oh, I bought a couple more of these. I have 2 of these already. They're just, it's magnet and it has like a clear pocket. I put like our what do I need now little supply magnets in one of these and our lunch options choices go in one. And I have a little jar with the stars that you put in the like reward jars that I was going to put the extra stars in this one, and they come in a 2-pack, so I'll figure out what to do with the other one. At the end of last year, my couple of my girls were going through crayons and pulling out like the broken ones. I switched with a teacher, so she brought her class into my room. It was like the last day of school, and so I went and did permanent records while she was in there with my students, and so I came back and those girls had taken all of the crayons and sorted them by color. It was one of those things where I've thought about doing before, but I just wasn't going to devote the time to that, and they did it. So I gave them little baggies and said, here, put them all in here. I will sort them. And so I found this cute little guy to sort the crayons in by color. It is big enough to fit it all. And I'm just gonna go real basic like the Roy G. Biv with a peach and brown and then a black, white, and gray in the bottom. But I'm excited about having this organized. All right, 1 box down. This box, I'm not even gonna open because it's heavy. This has my Nikki folders in. It was time to restock. I tried something different last year. It didn't work. I have a whole video on what I use this for. I will link that for you if you wanna check out how I do my take-home folders. But I needed to restock, and I always buy the 100 count. The folders are a little bit cheaper each. And so this, as long as our class sizes stay pretty low, well, normal, this should last me 4 years. So I did use state money for this. Again, consumables. I'll try to pull out one. They always send, at least the times I have, like a little sample. So this one it's the Nikki folder with the plastic, but this has built-in page protectors, which I thought was really cool. They sent me one that had like several folders inside, and I use that in my office here at home. But this might be good for like a small group resource, maths, something like that. But I just buy the plain ones, nothing fancy inside, no writing on them. It's actually cheaper. I use these for our classwork folders. So I slide a little thing in there with their name. On the back, I put their name in cursive. They can trace it with a dry erase marker. And then they just keep unfinished work, classwork, things we're working on all week in these. And then our school provides us with one that is my Thursday folder. This next box I think is mostly consumables, except this. My Thursday folders, I sort their paper, and I have used the big mailboxes. They just take up so much room. And then for the past 6, 7 years, I've used a file, like a milk crate with files, which worked so much better, took up less space. Well, in my new room, I am limited with even more space. So I wanted something that would take up less. And so I got one of these expandable things so that when I'm filing, I can stretch it out over my small group table. But when I'm not using it, or I can just smush it up and file it somewhere that takes up less space. Obviously, it probably wouldn't be this small. It'd probably be like there, but that's still less space than this is probably how big that milk crate is, and it stays that way all the time, whether it's in use or not. So I'm excited about that. Okay, I stocked up on stickers. I don't need stickers, but I had this wild idea for their notebooks when they come to my table for us to set them up at the beginning of the year and label them and get them set and ready to go for notes, was to let them choose a couple of stickers to put on their composition notebooks. So I got some reading stickers, math stickers, and science stickers. I thought that would be fun. And then I was probably gonna let them pick 2 or 3, and hopefully these will last me a couple of years. This idea I saw on TikTok, and I'm kind of excited about it. Oh, who is she? She is a high school teacher, but I loved the idea. So it's blank bookmark, and so the students decorated at the beginning of the year, and they write a number that is their goal of books to read. We lost the use of Epic this past year, halfway through the year. So after Christmas, we weren't allowed to use Epic anymore for a lot of ridiculous reasons. So I'm trying to find ways to really incentivize my students reading physical, regular books in the classroom. I'm going to start First Chapter Friday back up because I kind of moved away from that. And this is one of those ways where I want to have them set a goal and hopefully meet it. And so I'm going to laminate them, and then when they read their first book, I'm going to let them choose the color of the little tassel. But the teacher I got this idea from, she actually buys like that little skinny ribbon, like from Michael's or whatever. And as they finish the book, they get to add a new ribbon so that by the end of the year, they have like all these ribbons. So I think I'm going to do that too. I haven't stocked up on that part yet, but we'll get there. I also got these little number stickers. They come in a bunch of different colors, but I think they're like dates for calendars, like I guess, scrapbooking or journaling or whatever. We took expo markers off of our supply list this year, which is fine with me because we have plenty, because we usually ask for 1 or 2 and they come in packs of 4. So most kids will donate theirs at the end of the year, so I have plenty. So I was just going to number the expo markers that I give to the students so that when we find one on the floor, we know who it belongs to, and it's just easier to keep up with since they don't have their own. Part of what the girls who were sorting the crayons at the beginning of the year were doing was figuring out which markers worked and don't work. So I have a box that is just sort of extra crayons. When I give them new crayons at Christmas, I say if they want to donate any of their crayons or old crayons to me, as long as they're not broken. So I have like a box of just mismatch, which is what they sorted. And when they did that, we realized that we were low on red crayons, which makes sense. I found just all red crayons that you can order, a whole box of just red crayons. I only ordered 1 because I wasn't sure if they would come broken, which they didn't, thankfully. So I might order more, but for now we're just gonna go with, I also have a class set of markers, like one of those boxes that has them all sorted. And I pull that out for like certain projects. I don't love markers all the time. They went through and, tested them to see which ones work, which ones don't. And we collected the ones that don't to give to the art teacher because she's gonna use them to make watercolors. But we needed red and black. So I ordered a whole set of just red and just black. These are not Crayola because I am not sold on Crayola markers being the best. 100% crayons, Crayola, but the box that I have are not Crayola markers, so I don't think it really matters. These had pretty good reviews and said they were just as good. J-Tech is the brand, but again, I'll link it all below. So I'll keep you posted. I think they'll be fine. I don't think that Crayola has the absolute best markers, but they do crayons. I ordered a new calendar. I am a digital planner when it comes to lesson plans. I am also a person that needs to see the dates in front of her and see a calendar layout to because I plan ahead and I'm thinking, you know, what's coming up. If I get an email with a bunch of dates, I want to have it all in one place. So I've always been a digital lesson planner, and then I've been a desktop calendar person. Well, I also realized that I hate it, which always happens. I hate it when I write something on the calendar and then it changes. Last year, I had this as my desktop calendar with all the important dates, and then I had just a little monthly paper. It didn't even have a spiral on it, and that's where I would that's why I could scribble, because I could close it up and not look at it. Plus, during our grade level meetings, I'd write down days that projects are due or we're having a test and different things like that. I didn't want all that cluttering my important events like end of the quarter report cards, assemblies, but I wanted to be able to write that down so when I write my weekly email, I could pull it up and look up, when do we have a quiz or test? I found this one, which is actually 2 years, which works out really well because usually come April, our principal's already giving us dates for the next year. Plus, I'm grade level chair, which means I'm on our staff lighthouse team, and we meet in the summer to plan, and usually we're thinking about what happened the year before to think about what we're going to do for the next year. So having a 2-year calendar, I thought, would be a little bit more beneficial. I also was influenced to get sticker printing paper. I don't know if you've seen on TikTok where you print on the sticker paper and then laminate it, and then you peel it off and you have a laminated sticker. So it's going to do these for the folders that students take at Meet the Teacher, and plus they're going to use that as their book bag folder, where if I try to send everything on Thursday, but it doesn't always happen. Sometimes something needs to go home the next day, or a place for parents to send in notes that's not on a Thursday, send money for field trips and things like that. So it's going to label those. I found some plastic folders in our storage room when we were going through it this past school year. That's what I'm using for that. And then I bought a couple. These were only $5 during Prime Day, but we are doing a ocean theme in our hallway this year. Each year we do a different theme. We had space for a while. We did grade level themes, and then last year we did a construction theme as school-wide, and this year we're doing a ocean theme school-wide. So I bought those. We have some doors that lead into our hallway that stay propped open. I thought it would be cute on that. All right, last box is big because it's got something big in it. This was my big purchase. I usually do one big purchase each year. 1 year it was my couch. 1 year it was my carpet. 1 year it was some shelves. This year was testing privacy folders. Okay, I did stock up on my rug grippers. These are by far the best rug grippers I have ever used. I will say they work wonderfully on tile. No issues. We don't have tile in the new wing. We have just concrete floors. And so when I peeled them up, they peeled up fine, no sticky residue, but there was a dark spot where these were, which I was kind of sad about. Our floors don't get waxed because it's just concrete and not tile, but I know they're going to clean the floor. So when I go in to set up, I'm going to see if the marks are still there. If the marks are gone, I'm going to use these because that means whatever they do to clean it, it comes off. I stocked up on some blow pops. That's my back to Meet the Teacher night gift. I usually have a little tag that says, thanks for popping in. This year I made it ocean theme, so it's catching the wave in 4th grade, surfing the wave in 4th grade, something like that I'm just going to attach to those. It was cheaper to get the 100, so hopefully that'll last me a couple years. I always provide my students a snack on the very first day of school. We do have snack time, but a lot of times if they don't come to Meet the Teacher where I tell them we have snack, then they don't have snack, and I just feel like the first day of school. So I provide snack on the first day of school. I started buying in bulk. So basically I'll give everyone a snack on the first day of school, and then the second day, anybody who doesn't have one, and I just give it out until I run out. This year I went with granola bars. Last year I did little fruit gummies. Okay, and then this last, oh wait, what's this? Oh, I was wondering where that went. That's so little. I was influenced by this too. Okay, it's a little plastic scraper. So I have like a paint scraper that in the classroom that I use, and I actually have a little wooden or like a real, it's not wooden, metal one that we use to like clean when we moved classrooms, no, when they painted our classrooms. Hot glue, to scrape the hot glue off. Our new tables leave terrible stickiness from tape. So I've always, you know, if you tape something to the desk, I've always had some. Well, these new tables like leave a lot. So when I taped their name tags on and then eventually they all got peeled off or we switched table or names or something. Anyway, it was a beast to clean all that off. That's what this is for, to help me with this, because I have their table numbers that I need to scrape off that I left for myself to do. I think this will work a lot better on like the cabinets where I've put vinyl, like removable vinyl and stuff like that. So the last thing I got were these. I'm not even gonna open them up for you guys, but they're privacy folders. They are plastic, so I'm hoping they last a little bit longer. I have cardboard ones currently, and some of them are fine, but some of them are on their last leg. So I wanted to upgrade to the plastic. I'm hoping these will last longer. Of course, kids are kids. I'm sure somebody's gonna like punch a hole in it or whatever, but I got black, hoping it would also stop them from drawing on it no matter how many times. But anyway, that's everything that I got this year. The only thing I have left to get are crayons. I usually buy a whole class set of crayons because they're 50 cents, and I gift them to my kids at Christmas time or halfway through the year, so I just refresh their crayons. It's just a simple, easy gift to give my students. Well, Walmart, I don't know if you've heard, but Walmart came out with a box set where you can get 24 crayons for the same price of 50 cents each, which is $12. I thought that would be so much easier to transport to school, to store away until December. Of course, my Walmart had the markers out, but not the crayons, so I'm waiting on that one. I thought about just buying the individual boxes again, but I thought storing it in a preset box would be so much easier. But like I said, classroom setup vlogs are coming in a week. I am going to start setting up, so it'll be a day or two after that. They are not going to be part of my regular scheduled Sunday videos. I'm just going to edit and put them up as I do. So those are coming soon. Next Sunday, I am doing first week plans, what I'm planning to do with my students for the first week of school. So make sure you have subscribed so that you get the notifications for those videos. And if you're interested in seeing how I set up my take-home folders, check out the video that's on your screen now.